Alright, today we'll be talking about observational learning. What is observational learning? It is learning that occurs through observing the behavior of others. It is basically just watching someone or something perform a task, do an everyday task, anything, and just replicating them. It's most often identified with Albert Bandura, who's considered the father of it, and it's identified with his classic Bobo doll experiment, where they took kids and stuck them in a room with an adult and a Bobo doll, and one group was stuck with a group of adults that would exhibit violence, such as hitting, kicking, throwing the doll, maybe using objects to attack it, while the other group was not shown this violence. Now, after the adults left and the kids were left alone with the Bobo doll, the kids that were exposed to the violence were very likely to do the same things the adults did. They would kick, throw, whatever they could do to attack this doll, using objects to throw it up against the wall, whatever, just being very violent. And this is where we started to learn how observational learning takes place, just by watching people, how kids watch you and they will try to replicate an older person. Now, there's 4 stages of observational learning. There is the attention stage, the retention stage, production stage, and the motivation stage. All pretty simple and self-explanatory to this, because the first stage is attention. You got to pay attention. You got to watch someone to observe them. If you're going to learn something by watching, you got to pay attention. They had to retain this information, such as the kids watching the abusive adults. They retained what the adults did, so they could replicate it. The production was they went through the test. They may have attacked this doll, or they may have, by kicking or hitting, throwing it against the wall, hitting it with objects. And the motivation to do so is they wanted to be like these adults because they felt like that's the way they were supposed to act. Felt like that was correct behavior for them. Now, this isn't the only example of observational learning. There's several. You can watch an infant learning to make facial expressions by watching his parent. He can also learn to understand facial expressions, or maybe even hand gestures, to understand what they can mean, such as maybe, are you hungry, or anything of that nature. A child can learn to walk, and this is very prevalent when you have households with several kids. As the more kids you have, the younger child seems to walk first in most cases, because they're after the oldest sibling, because you see their oldest sibling performing this task of walking and wish to walk like them. You could also, like a child learning to play a game or watching others, such as a young boy attending a baseball game, where he learns to swing a baseball bat. He may not have the correct mechanics, but he understands the basics of it because he saw someone do it on TV or at the game wherever he was at. There's also simple things such as a man going to a coffee shop and finding where cream and sugar could be because of the other drinkers in the area. This is true for anywhere you go. You may not know where something is, but you watch something. And we see here that observational learning can be any simple task. It could be learning where to go, like if you riding someone somewhere to a store, and then you need to go to that store. Just by riding with them and observing the road you take, you may be able to find this store just by remembering, by observing while you was in with your friend. You now know how to get to the store without a GPS or anything of that nature. As we see, observational learning can be any simple, ordinary task. Today, I will be showing an observational learning using a very simple object, a shoestring. What I'll be doing with this shoestring is I'll be teaching you how to tie the shoestring, or any string for that matter, with one hand. Now, you may ask, what's the real use of this skill? There might not be a really important life or death situation skill for this, but it's actually a pretty cool, neat trick you can do to entertain someone, because when you do it really quick, people think you either already had it tied, then you show them again. It's actually pretty neat to watch people's reactions when you can tie something with this string with one hand. And helping my experience will be my mom. I will be teaching her how to tie this string, because she did not know how to perform this task. Alright, here's my first video, and as you can see, I tied the string. You can see the loop. I tied it really quick, and I then handed it to my mom, who had never seen this before in her life. So I just handed it to her and told her to replicate it. And as you can see, she has trouble where she should put it, how she should line it up, and you can see she just basically flings a string around and it's very confused. Alright, so you saw my mom did not do well the first attempt. Now we're going to go back and I'm going to slow it down and I'm going to step by step describe how I'm performing this action you see on the screen. I did it twice, I'm about to back it up for you. Just want to show you real quick how I'm tying. Alright, now if we back it up, we're going to try to show you both. I'm going to try to explain it. If you watch, you line it up. If you watch, you see how the string is lined up on the base of my knuckles, and about I got half the length on each side. If you put it right there, you grab, and you see I'm grabbing with my pinky and ring finger this front part of the string right here. And then the next step is I reach over. That was a little quick. I'll reach over with my index finger and my middle finger. Is very easy to grab. I'll show you right here. As you can see, I reached over and grabbed, and then it's a very quick flick. Watch this quick step. As you can see, it's a very quick flip because at this time, if we go back to where we started, see if we can find it. Alright, we're going to wait for us so we can pause at the right time. Line it up, grab. So you can see it's very quick, very blurry. You see where the string is lined up, still on my knuckles. And when you flick your wrist here, the string will simply come down. You will pull the string through and it will make the knot if you watch. And it's very easy to see when you watch my mom do it because she slows it down. Now watch as I hand it to my mom. She lines it up the way she needs to. Halfway over, puts it in between her pinky finger, the front part of the string. The back part of the string goes in between the middle finger and the ring, the middle finger and the index finger. And if you slow it down, watch it one more time as she puts. Back up just a little bit more. My apologies. Alright, see how she has this right on her knuckles here, and if you watch, she slowly pushes it down instead of flicking her wrist, which doesn't make as tough a knot, but accomplishes the same feat, and you can see she's very excited about her accomplishment. Now, that's all I have for you today, and as you can see, observational learning is a big part of life. You've seen in little kids, you know, observing and mimicking mom and dad, or maybe an older sibling, and it can be any task, like something simple as tying this string with one hand. Or it could be anything such as the baseball thing, a basketball, soccer, any sport. Or it could be simply just learning how to eat correctly, how to act in public. People don't see that a lot. That's one of the bigger things is attitude, and we see that in our major as PE teachers. When we're teaching, we are expected to have a positive disposition and a good attitude. And if we mess up, we're okay with laughing at ourselves. It teaches kids that it's simply just a game. There's no need to get mad. And every life's about having fun. So anything can be observable, anything can be learned through observation. And I just want to thank you for your time, and have a good day.